Hi, I'm Dr. Conti. Welcome to the House of Healing, where we help individuals work through issues that's held them back for years. Today, we focused on domestic violence. I'd like for you to join me as you watch these ladies who've written to me about their situation, work through it, and recover.
The worst one was when I had my daughter. She was less than 2 or 3 weeks old, and I was with her father, and they were having a gathering at his sister's house, and I didn't want to go because I just had a baby, and she was newborn. It was cold. Well, he got upset because I did not want to go. He made me put her in the crib. The other 2 kids were in the other room playing, and he started to punch on me and hit me. So he took me out of our bedroom, put me in the second bedroom, and made me get on my knees and crawl and bark like a dog. And then he made me do a sexual act on him that I wasn't pleasant with.
It was late, and at the time I was in college, and I was coming home from school. And when I got in the house, he was there. And as I walked in, immediately he ran toward me and questioning me as to where I've been. And I was trying to tell him that I stayed afterwards studying because I had my midterms coming up, and he didn't believe me. So he grabbed me by my hair and took me in the restroom and pushing and screaming at me. And when we got in the restroom, he just started snatching my clothes off. And he took my underwear off, and he started smelling it and saying that I had been sleeping with someone.
I think that it's hard to sum up 14 years worth of severe physical, emotional, and sexual abuse, but the worst incident that comes to mind was when I tried to break free. He had beaten me horribly, and I made him leave, and he wasn't living there anymore. But he came back one night, and I opened up the door. And I just gotten through feeding my daughters. So everybody was up. It was Sunday night. We just come from church. And I let him in the house, and he sidestepped me and closed the door and locked the door, the front door. And he began to beat me in front of the girls.
At the time, my daughter, like I said, she was just a newborn baby, and it's all because I didn't want to go and be with them at his family's because it was the weather. And he continued to beat me after that and make the kids laugh at me. And then after he done that, he made me get in the closet and put a shotgun to my head and made my son laugh at me while he held him and made him laugh at me because I was terrified because I thought he was going to blow my brains out, which, he had the gun in his hand. I didn't know if he would or wouldn't. Took a lot out of me. It took a lot out of me. My kids were very young, so they don't remember. And they still don't know the full details of the things I went through with their dad.
And drug me over to the couch. And put his arm across my neck, and he raped me in front of my daughters, and my daughters were on either side of me, and they were screaming my name, they were calling for me, and I couldn't get them off of me, and I tried, and I couldn't make him leave. I couldn't help them, I couldn't protect them, but it wasn't over. And for years he continued, and it was the same kind of stuff. It just was never over until I heard how it was affecting my daughters, and I couldn't muster up the strength for myself, but I could for them. I don't know how you get past that, or how you get that out of your head. How do you get past that? I don't know how you get past that.
Next thing you know, he hit me in my face. I fell to the floor. He drugged me by my hair to the bedroom. And when we got to the bedroom, he was like, "You're a hoe. You know, you try to play like you're going to school, but I know you're sleeping with other guys." And he threw me on the bed and he said, "Bitch, you're gonna die tonight." And he took the pillow and he kept putting the pillow over my face. Just kept putting it over my face. And it got to the point where I couldn't breathe anymore. And I kept telling him, I can't breathe. You know, like, stop, I can't breathe. And he just kept putting it. And then he just left it there. And I was trying to get from up under the pillow, and I couldn't. And the more I moved, the worse it got. And I felt this something tell me, just lay still, just be still. And so I played there. But I still felt the force, and I couldn't breathe, and I kept telling God, you know, let me hold on, and let me be still. And I was begging him, and then when I seen that it didn't work, I felt stuff coming from my mouth, and I just felt like I was gonna die. So I laid there and I stayed still. And he put more force. And when I woke up, I was in a closet, naked. He had left me there to die.
Nicole, I'm Dr. Conti, and I want to welcome you to the House of Healing. I read your letter and I'm excited about having you here. I look so forward to helping you. And what I want you to do is I want you to go upstairs and wash off all your makeup. Oh, yes, wash off all your makeup. And then I'll put on some scrubs, read the instructions, and come back down when you're ready. I look forward to seeing you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Welcome back down, ladies. Trisha, why do you not have on the scrubs and your makeup is still on?
I don't think I'm ready. I don't think I'm ready for this. I don't think I can do it.
Well, I want you to know that it's okay, okay? And whenever you're ready, I'm gonna be ready for you. But this takes work and it takes time. But I want you to remember that where you are emotionally did not happen overnight. And so it's not going to be healed overnight. But in order for it to begin, you've got to take the steps. So whenever you're ready, we're ready, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
We're gonna miss you. Ladies, she's not gonna stay with us. Okay, ladies, here we are. Have a seat. All right, as you notice, it's only two of you. Trisha decided not to stay with us, and I'm okay with that because she's not ready. And you have to be ready. So I commend you for taking this first step and being ready. All right? So I had you to strip down into your scrubs, wash all your makeup off, and I did that for a reason. For years, you've walked around covering up the pain, the hurt, all of the mistakes, all of the shame, all of the guilt. We put it on, put the makeup on, we put the clothes on, we do the hair, and we're still toe up from the floor up on the inside. So I wanted to strip you from all of that. The other thing is you have on purple. Purple is the color for domestic violence. However, you have on purple also because it's the color of royalty. And I want you to know by the time you leave this house what your worth is, how valuable you are, okay? So now there's 10 principles that we teach here in the house that everybody has to learn and practice, not just here, but when you leave the house, so that you can regain and retain and keep your power, all right? So I want you to take some notes. These are called the 10 Kantiology Power Principles for Living. Kantiology because it's my thoughts, God thoughts, and psychology put together. How about that? All right, so the first one is never try to change people. Never try to change people. We always want to make people be what we want them to be. If the people around you don't want to change, then you change the people around you. How about that? Number 2, always give people the chance to love you and not chance after chance to hurt you. We so easily give people more opportunities to treat us bad and not allow the honest, earnest people to come in and love us, people who mean us well. Also, never let your emotions overrule your mind. You know the movie, What Love Have to Do with It? Love has nothing to do with it. Your mind knows, it tells you, go with that first mind. We have that navigation system inside of us. Listen to that clock. Also, always dictate the life that you want. Speak it into existence. Stop saying, I'm never gonna get a good man, or every man I get is bad, or I'm never gonna have money. And then when you're broke, you wonder why. You've attracted that to you. Speak what it is that you want. And then never, number 5, never go back to a person, place, or thing that didn't work. If it did not work the first time, it's not going to work again and again. A lot of times we allow people to come back in our lives thinking that they've changed or it's going to be different. But if they've done nothing different, you're only going to get more of the same. Give people the opportunity to start new, a second chance at something new, but not a second chance to do the same exact thing. You get that? All right. Number 6, always challenge the false belief systems against the Word of God. I read your letters, and so many people have talked ugly to you and said some horrible things. And we begin to say those things to ourselves. When you say, I'm not anybody, or I'm no good, or, you know, I can never get it right, challenge those beliefs against the Word of God. The Bible that I read and the Word that I read says, I'm the head and not the tail. That all things are possible for you. And then never settle in the beginning for what you won't want in the end. Never settle in the beginning. If you don't want it in the beginning, it's only get worse 10 years from now, 20 years from now. You won't want it then. So never settle in the beginning what you don't want in the end. And then always please you and God first. Everybody else is a choice. Stop feeling like you're a people pleaser all the time and got to please everybody. If it works for you and it works for God, fine. And if it don't, fine. Don't do it. And then I love this one, and I really, really want to work with you guys on this one, particularly you. Never, ever allow your past to limit your future. You both have been doing that. And I know what you're going through, and we're going to get more into that. But you cannot lose out on something so great because of something so horrible that's in the past. And then the 10th is always celebrate you. Whether it's big successes or little successes, whether it's failures or mistakes. Celebrate you, because those are the things that help you become who you're going to be. And I'm so glad that I'm here to help you. You're going to practice those things the whole time that you're here in the house, okay? I brought you guys out here because I want to show you a demonstration. What you have in your hand is the power wheel, the power to control wheel. And this is the things that people use, these things to control you, such as intimidating you, isolating you, using emotional abuse, verbal abuse, coercing you, threats, all of those things. All of that is right here on this paper. And people ask all of the time, why did you stay? How many times have you heard that?
Thousands.
Why did you stay?
Yeah.
I want to show you and others a reason why people stay. But I also want to end that. I want to end those things that's been holding you back, those thoughts, those threats, those coercions, those things that's in your mind that you are still grappling with, even sometimes away from the abuse. So every time I say something that you have heard before, I want you to rip a piece of the paper and let it fall into that pail with your stupid self. Nobody wants you. Look how dumb you are. You fat. You too black. Who's ever gonna want you? You stink. You cannot go outside. I don't want you to talk to anybody. I don't want you to talk to your friends. Your family doesn't even want you. Who would ever be around you? And who's gonna want you when I leave? Do what I tell you to do. Go back now in that house and don't you ever come out. I don't care who you're talking to. Hang up that damn phone right now. You're stupid. I don't like you. Nobody likes you. That's why nobody liked you in school. That's why your mama didn't even like you. All broken up. Anything else? I know what else. Your children don't even like you. They don't want you. Anybody that wanted you would be stupid. Every time somebody come to you, you don't even know that you're smart. You're not even smart. You're dumb. You're dumb. You didn't even get a good education. Can't even keep a job. What are you gonna do? If you left me, where you gonna go? Oh, to pieces. When you came to somebody, you were whole. Halfway, at least. Look at all these pieces. And people want to know why you can't get up and leave. We're gonna leave all that right now. Pick it up. We're gonna leave it right here, right now. We're burning that. We're burning those things that you have been told right now. Get rid of them. Throw them in there. All of them. This is no longer going to control you. Ever again. You're wonderful. You're beautiful. You're not any of those things anymore. And I need you to know that, understand that.
So first tell us what you've learned from your experience here today.
I've learned to accept myself for who I am, to love myself, and regardless of what anyone has said in the past, to let it hold me back from my future.
What advice would you give to a young lady that's probably out of the situation but searching for her healing or her journey? What steps would you tell her that she should start taking?
The first step would be not to blame yourself. Don't blame yourself for what happened. It wasn't your fault. And to look beyond that and to just try to seek more yourself into God and let Him be your guide and your leader. You can't talk with someone who hasn't had that experience. They can only tell you about it. It's best that you speak to someone and speak to God first and let Him guide you every step of the way that you need to go. And He will put the right people in your path.
In your journey right now, what do you think your next step is for you to take?
My next step is to reach out to more younger women about domestic violence and help them overcome what they've been through and let them know that they can make it. They can make it out and live a happy, normal life.
Well, what I learned is that I'm not the only one that has faced the ugly monster of domestic violence. And it's not hard to deal with. It's gonna take some time for healing, but I feel so much better than I did when I came in the house. You know, I was afraid, and now I'm able to talk about it more, and I feel empowered.
What's the hardest part about getting to the point of healing yourself?
The hardest part for me was dealing with the anger that I had for myself, for not being able to stand up for myself, for not being able to get out sooner. And so the hardest part is the humiliation, you know, you feel like you got to bounce back and not being able to, not knowing how to. And so Dr. Conti has given me some tools, you know, to work through some of the things that I need to work through.
What advice would you give a woman or a young lady that's on the verge of seeking their own help? What steps do you believe that they should take to enter this journey of healing?
The first step is to believe in yourself and stop believing what that person is telling you. And face what it really is. It's abuse. It's not love. And once you start looking at it for what it really is and stop making excuses, then I think that'll help. Because a lot of times when you're in that, you got so many reasons why you're in that relationship. Whether it's, you know, like mine, we were childhood sweethearts. So I kept going back to that. You know, one day we're gonna get back to that. How we talked to one another so well, how we interacted with one another so well, but that could never go back. And that was one of the things that she pointed out, is once he started hitting me, then it wasn't no go back. That's who he was. And I kept seeing the flip side of him instead of seeing who he really was. And so you just have to be real with yourself.
Now, in your healing process right now, what do you feel your next step is?
The next thing for me is to let go. Let go of that past. It can no longer hold me hostage. I have to, you know, step out into this world and be who I'm supposed to be. And I can't allow all that negativity to carry with me. And so I'm just gonna let go.
Today was interesting. Let me start with Nikki. Nikki had missed the love from her dad. I always say that we women get our love, our self-esteem from our dads, or the lack thereof. Case in point, Nikki did not have the dad experience that she liked. So that hole was missing. And so as a result of that missing hole, she went trying to fill that love in all the wrong places, like many of us do. And it perpetuated from one relationship to another, all bad, becoming extremely abusive. Her boyfriend brutally beat her in the street, in front of her friends, and everywhere she went, if she was able to go anywhere. But after finally getting out of that, she found that, like many of us do, even when she got with a healthy man, she didn't even know how to respond. She didn't know what to do. She didn't know how to freely love him and how to allow him to freely love her, how to have an intimate relationship, because she was still holding on to all of the things that the ex had said, that she would never be or could never have, or nobody was going to want her. She looked a certain way with her clothes off. So she was even afraid to even be around him intimately and let him see her with her clothes off. Then you had T. T's abuse started at home. So when she began to be abused outside in her relationship, it seemed normal. Her mother abused her. Her aunts talked bad to her. It started in the house. And so after getting out, everybody that abused her, it seemed like this was just a way of life. This was what she knew. So it was very, very hard for her to be able to understand that her sense of security and her boundaries was crossed and betrayed and taken advantage of way too early. And as a result of that, it started a chain of bad relationships, bad behaviors. And so she too didn't know how to accept love, not even just from a male, but even lady friends. She wasn't able to connect with ladies and have friendships, and she felt like she didn't fit in with anybody, and nobody else understood the pain that she's going through. Probably many of you can understand that. And then we had Trisha, who, bless her heart, my heart went out to her so much. I could see in her eyes the hurt and the pain, and I could see how she really wants to heal and want to be ready, but she's not able to relive all of that right now. And perhaps even worried about who's going to see it and what are they going to say. And you know, we cover it so long and we hide things so long that when it's actually time to get real and remove the mask and be who we're supposed to be, who God has intended for us to be, it's really hard. So I'm praying that she's going to be back to the house and retry again, because she wasn't ready today, but when she's ready, I'm going to be ready for her. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you the next time on the House of Healing with Dr. Conti.